The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
You could be driving.
Honda has won more U.S. News and World Report awards than any other brand in the last decade. And now you can add another one to the list, being named the best car brand of 2022. Come get your Honda today at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Siegel Lane.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Welcome as we start another week of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your world since the last opportunity we had to spend a little time with you live at the end of last week. We start today's show talking about what is potentially, and I stress potentially, the biggest episode in, for lack of a better phrase, had a feeling that was going to happen. Alan. There we go. All right. Live TV. You got to love it, even when it's taped, right? Governor John Bel Edwards facing questions and potential criticism regarding what he did or did not know, and more precisely, when he did or did not know about Ronald Green's death and the resulting cover-up at the hands of Louisiana State Police. House Speaker Clay Schnitzner releasing a statement yesterday in response to a recent report from the Associated Press that claimed Governor John Bel Edwards received a text message from then Louisiana State Police Superintendent, Louisiana's then State Police Superintendent, Kevin Reeves, hours after the disputed death of Ronald Green. You probably remember all the consternation surrounding the case. Initially, family members told by Louisiana State Police that Ronald Green died in a car crash, only to find out later on, after video was released of Louisiana State Police men abusing Ronald Green to the tune of denying him civil rights and ultimately costing him his life. Clay Schnitzner releasing a statement that reads in part, quote, "The revelations detailed by the Associated Press regarding Governor Edwards' involvement in the alleged cover-up in the cause of the death of Ronald Green are greatly disturbing. This would demonstrate gross misconduct and the highest level of deceit on behalf of the governor and others." So far, the NAACP issuing a statement as well that reads in part, quote, The text exchange between Governor John Bel Edwards and retired Louisiana State Police Colonel Kevin Reeves, reported by the Associated Press, regarding the governor's knowledge of Ronald Greene's actual cause of death while allowing Louisiana State Police to perpetuate a false car crash narrative is deeply disturbing. The NAACP finds this severely demonstrates a need for our governor to be fully transparent with our great state. We feel that our governor has seemingly missed the mark so far. Governor Edwards, who and when was anyone within your administration made aware of Mr. Greene's actual cause of death? When did you learn the truth, Governor? We call on Governor Edwards, as the elected leader of our great state, to be forthcoming and transparent regarding what he knew and when. Additionally, the governor's office issuing a statement as well, saying, quote, "It is standard practice for the head of LSP to notify the governor of incidents where a person dies in custody. He did not see, nor was he aware of the videos of the arrest until much later in October of 2020. From the moment the governor learned of the allegations and saw the videos, he has consistently said that the actions of the officers in the video were disturbing and unacceptable, and find that the matter should be fully investigated by federal and state authorities. Neither the governor nor anyone on the governor's staff has ever intervened or interfered in any criminal investigation, including the investigation into the death of Mr. Greene. The Legislative Black Caucus has requested to meet with the governor about the serious allegations in the Associated Press article, and that meeting will take place tomorrow afternoon, as in today. He will speak to and take questions from the media after that meeting." This is reading, by the way, from the website of the ABC affiliate here in Baton Rouge, WBRZ Channel 2. It is potentially a turning point. Maybe turning point might be a bit strong. It is potentially an opportunity for Governor John Bel Edwards to either keep his political future and past intact, or to cast serious doubt upon his ability to lead this state, particularly among what is arguably the most loyal part of the Democrat base. It's no epiphany, it's no earth-shaking revelation that black folks in Louisiana vote Democrat ad nauseum. And in recent memory, there have been any number of cases where African Americans in this state have found themselves in compromising situations, again, for lack of a better phrase, with law enforcement, and in this particular instance, resulting in a fatality. It is going to be interesting to see the response from the John Bel Edwards administration, or in this particular case, the governor himself. After his meeting with the Legislative Black Caucus and the NAACP, the governor has assured us that he will take questions from the media regarding what he knew and when he knew it. It is something that the federal government is also looking into, the DOJ, and despite published reports to the contrary, they are of the opinion that the investigation into this matter is not over. It is a, quote, continuing investigation. It is something, my humble opinion only, that is far too long in coming. This should have been addressed a long time ago. Now, you're going to find some that are going to make the argument that, Well, the reason he sat on this at the time is because he was facing a potential reelection challenge, and he was simply keeping his cards close to the vest. I will leave to you to decide whatever, if any, underhanded or politically advantageous moves, might be a better phrase to sum it all up, were used in this instance. But at the end of the day, the people of Louisiana, regardless of race, creed, or color, the people of Louisiana, despite their political affiliation or leanings, the people of the state of Louisiana have the right and should expect transparency in this regard. It is in and of itself bad enough when those who have sworn an oath to protect and serve violate that oath. And you're listening to a guy that is as pro law enforcement as you will ever find in any community, whether it's black or white. But at the end of the day, transparency and accountability are the two most important words when it comes to the public trust and those particularly who have sworn an oath to uphold that. We're going to keep an eye on this and see where it all goes from here. Now, personally, for the sake of the peace of mind of the citizenry of our state, and in addition to that, to the good men and women in law enforcement, I welcome the prying eyes into this. But I'm going to be honest with y'all, pure and simple. And some of y'all are not going to like it, but that's okay. It ain't the first time old Clarence has said something you don't like, and it probably won't be the last either for that regard. But I personally, I'll be happy to see, and yes, this is a worthy cause, no two ways about it. A guy's life was ended in the hands of law enforcement. But at the same time, I'm wondering, when is the Legislative Black Caucus going to sit down with Governor John Bel Edwards and have a heartfelt come to Jesus about what we're going to do about the ungodly number of young black men that are being killed by other young black men in our state? At the end of the day, and y'all please accept this in the spirit that it's given, dead is dead. I don't care who killed you. I don't care what it was about. Dead is dead. And the fact of the matter is, we have so very many young black men dying at the hands of other young black men. And maybe I'm a bit of an idealist. Maybe I am denying reality. But for me, at the end of the day, arguably the most powerful entity in the state of Louisiana for people of color is the Legislative Black Caucus. Now, for the sake of the Green family, let's get to the bottom of this. Let's find out what actually happened and hold those responsible accountable. But in the meantime, as the carnage and the death and destruction continues, let's address that as well while we're at it. Just saying. First break of today's show. We'll get her done when we come back. Second segment, Tuesday. You know what that means. Time for another edition of Now That's Just Stupid. That's next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The Mazda CX-30, named an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. Perfect for the journey ahead.
Start your journey in a new Mazda CX-30. Right here at Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, gang. Clarence Bugs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Bugs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bugs Show. If by chance you are new to the show, new to the station, new to the area, you may not be aware that in direct response to the ever-growing level of stupidity in our country, we've instituted a new segment that is entitled, "Now That's Just Stupid." You'll notice, however, as the graphic shows you, it's not STUPID. Regular, ordinary, everyday, stupid. We're talking here a cut above. Not your garden variety, stupid. This requires an entirely different spelling. Hence, STOOPID, as in, now that's just stupid. We start with the old saying that we were taught as kids. Hopefully. Some of us obviously missed out on that class. I'll leave to you to decide the reason behind it. But we were taught when you find yourself in a hole, what's the first thing you do? Yep, stop digging. Last week, the daily newspaper, the Daily Pennsylvanian, this is the student-run newspaper at the University of Pennsylvania, where bruh is now being allowed to swim against college females because he identifies as being a woman. The Daily Pennsylvanian, student newspaper at the University of Penn, wrote an article that said, well, the reason that this guy is so successful is not because he's transgender, it's because of all the hard work that he's put in. Quote, Thomas, who's been swimming, and I'm not going to say this, they say it, I'm not going to say it. Thomas, who has been swimming since he was 5 years old, had an incredible season following a year-long break. Not going to say it again. He won events, broke records, and earned bids to the NC2A championships. Thomas did not succeed because he is transgender. He succeeded because of the hard work he has put in throughout his long swimming career, and because he is finally able to authentically be himself and race in a sport that he loves. Every time I said he in this article, they wrote she. But I digress. When you find yourself in a hole, stop digging, because all you're doing is making the freaking hole deeper and harder for you to get out. Well, Clarence, why do you say that about the article? I'm glad you asked that question. With these, well, they're minors, some of them. So bless their little old hearts. I'm not going to say what I was thinking. They don't realize what they said in essence was all the women on the University of Penn swim team, they're slackers. If they worked as hard as dude worked, they'd be successful. What's the problem? Here's what they left out. Dude, bruh, was on the University of Penn's men's team before he decided to race against women. Bruh wasn't even mediocre. He wasn't even mediocre. But because of hard work and dedication to the sport that he loves, he's now succeeding. We might have to revise this and put another O in there. STOOOPID. Because that's just flat out stupid. Women up there at University of Penn, you slackers. If you get your butt out there and work harder, hey, you can achieve stuff too. And these folks, my friends, are going to be the leaders of the future. These folk that wrote that article for the Daily Pennsylvanian, they are going to be the ones that will be writing the articles that you'll be reading on your phone in the future. They're the ones that will be producing the TV shows that you'll see in the future. They will be the ones. Of course, newspapers will probably be a thing of the past by the time you graduate and land a job. Scary, isn't it? Scary. Of course, now, in the grand scheme of things, it's probably as scary as living in a city or a state run by Democrats. Seattle, Washington, out on the left coast. This week it was revealed that a guy caught shoplifting 22 times in 3 months, arrested again after caught stealing a $750 70-inch TV. Released, mind you, wait for it, without bail. This guy, career criminal, has a rap sheet that dates all the way back to the 1980s. He was freed from jail for the fourth time in 6 months after his latest shopping spree, shall we call it. Only in Blue City, America. October 2021, arrested for shoplifting at a Target store in King County, Washington. Citing his criminal record of some 32 prior arrests dating back to 1985, he was ordered released without bail. His booking records show that over his lengthy criminal involvement, he's been convicted of nearly 20 felonies and misdemeanors. The convictions include, among others, burglary, assault, cocaine possession, and attempted robbery. Yeah, that sounds like the kind of guy that you'd want as a neighbor. Yeah. Or, if you're like me, now that's just stupid. Finally, wouldn't be an addition of, now that's just stupid, without talking about, you guessed it, the federal government. Have you noticed lately how the mainstream media and the left have been really quiet about the situation at our southern border? Ever since this huge gathering of people entering the country illegally came to the attention of the American public, and they very quickly moved all of these folks from under the overpass in Texas. You would think, oh, okay, Kamala Harris is doing her job. Illegal immigration is dried up. I mean, it must have. We don't hear about it on the news anymore. Well, at the end of last week, video surfaced of the Department of Homeland Security in the dead of night, we now find out, has been for months, literally every single night. They're loading them up on airplanes and they're flying them all across the country. Is this what you voted for? Very quietly. Oh, and by the way, when they interviewed the independent contractors who've been hired to carry this out, in the interview they flat out said, well, we've been told to keep it on the down low. Wait, you mean they don't want you to know about the 2 million folk that entered this country illegally last year? You mean they don't want you to know that for months now, every freaking night, they've been loading them up on airplanes and sending them all around the interior of the United States of America? So I guess that means that Kamala Harris's trip to Central America did not find and address the root causes of illegal immigration. CNN didn't tell you about that, did they? LSD didn't tell you they've been busted every single night, loading up planes full of folks with no business here whatsoever and sending them everywhere. Of course, now, this is the federal government, so you would expect a certain level of stupidity. I'm late on this break, but let me throw this other little tidbit in there for you. To show you how dysfunctional, those of you that voted for Joe Biden, to show you how dysfunctional this government is, when they're loading illegal immigrants on planes to send them around the country, and it so happens they don't have verifiable ID, you know what they let them use to get on the plane? You're going to love this. A Department of Homeland Security arrest warrant. We found out you're here illegally. You haven't responded to correspondences, so we've issued a civil arrest warrant. And the federal government says, yeah, but that's civil. It's not criminal. But it's an arrest warrant. Well, yeah. And you're going to let them use an arrest warrant for ID to get on an American plane and fly unannounced to American cities. Well, yeah, what could go wrong? Flat out stupid. Bottom of the hour break. And you thought the insanity on the federal level had ended? You're going to want to hear this one too when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Driver assistance technology comes standard on every Camry model as part of Toyota Safety Sense, setting the standard for safety every time you're on the road, no matter the destination. Save on your Camry today at Team Toyota, I-12 at O'Neill.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. If you were not with us in the last segment, you missed out on us covering the revelations and the video to go along with it last week of how the Biden-Harris administration, for months on end now, were found to be loading illegal immigrants on planes and flying them all around the country. It was revealed by the Department of Homeland Security that just in December of last year, over 178,000 illegal immigrants entered this country. That's just the ones they caught. We're not talking about those that escaped detection, okay? We're talking last year in excess of 2 million people that were encountered. Now, I will leave to you to decide what percentage they caught and what percentage they didn't. And you, again, will get to determine how many folks do you think they allowed into this country illegally. Now, we know for a fact, just from the verified numbers, that it's in excess of 2 million. Law of averages gives you 1 out of 10. And in this case, 1 out of 10 got caught. So that would leave how many millions more that got in that they have no clue where they are? Here is maybe. And if God blesses you to keep breathing for another 24 hours, they'll probably surpass this. But here's where only the federal government could come up with more hypocrisy than this. We've all been watching this whole situation in the Ukraine get worse and worse and worse. And of course, many Americans now are of the opinion, oh God, are we going to end up in another war in another country that most Americans can't even point to on a map, and most Americans at the end of the day don't really care a whole lot about? So in that vein, last week, the Deputy National Security Advisor, Jonathan Feiner, was asked by a CNN reporter, why should we care about Ukraine? I mean, they're not a member of NATO. You know, we've heard horror stories about all the corruption going on there. I mean, we know about the whole Joe Biden, Barack Obama, if y'all don't cancel this investigation, then you can forget about getting this aid. Well, you don't have a right to do that. Call him and ask him if I do. Y'all remember the whole thing. So the Deputy National Security Advisor was asked, why should we care about Ukraine? The answer, and I quote, it goes to a very fundamental principle of all nations, that our borders should be inviolate, that our sovereignty should be respected. What? Wait a minute. Hold on, bro. Back up the bus. The sovereignty of a nation's borders should be respected. That's why we need to worry about what happens in Ukraine. And just last month alone, you let in 178,000 people illegally. You, federal government, stopped construction of the border wall. You, in 12 months' time, let illegal immigration get to its worst in decades. But now, you want to sell the American people on potentially going to war with Russia over Ukraine because you're concerned about a nation's borders and their sovereignty. Meanwhile, you, after letting all these folks in, are now dispensing them all around the country. But you're the ones. By golly, we got to be sure that we ensure the sovereignty of nations and the sanctity of their borders. We've come up with a new saying, a new spelling for stupid on this show. I guess for homework tonight, Marty, you need to come up with a new spelling for hypocrite. Flat out hypocrite. Of course now, D-E-M-O-C-R-A-T. Boom. There you go. New spelling. Of course, you know, again, this is the same group of folk, y'all. How many times do I have to tell y'all? Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. Just watch. Over 2 million people, that's just the ones they caught. Turn loose, let them out, and if they don't have ID to be able to fly where they want to go, that's okay. We'll accept an arrest warrant as proper ID. What could possibly go wrong? You know, if I, thank you, God, had been so idiotic as to vote for Joe Biden, I would be, I'd be upset right about now. I would be, well, I can't say what I really want to say because it's a family show. I would be seriously perturbed, y'all. But we told you last week, all you have to do is go back and listen to virtually every single thing that the Democrats and the left, mainstream media, tried to tell you was so evil about Donald J. Trump. Look now at every single one of those things and contrast it with what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have done. While we're talking about hypocrites, spelled D-E-M-O-C-R-A-T-S, pretty simple to see, y'all. It's really easy to see. But you got to keep your eyes open if you want to see. Now, some of y'all, willfully ignorant. Some of y'all, blissfully ignorant. Can't help y'all. But we continue to try. Why? Because we're talking about the future of a nation here, y'all. We are talking about, arguably, the greatest experiment in governance in the history of the human species. And you folks, left, Democrats, progressives, walking around like this, on any other day, we'd just laugh at you. But the problem now is, this is the future of our country we're talking about. And yet, they'll have you believe more people in the history of elections in this nation voted for Joe Biden. Suckers. Suckers. Tried to tell you. And what have you gotten out of this so far? Nothing of value. We already know this. But on the negative side, more pandering. The Democrats, Biden, Harris, have taken pandering to an entirely new level. Now, you're going to be hearing about this for the foreseeable future. Ooh, Joe Biden is going to nominate a black woman to the Supreme Court. You realize what they aren't telling you, right? We're going to talk about that in the final segment. In case you can't stick around, go back and do a little digging and find out who was it that used the filibuster twice to deny the first black woman an opportunity to sit on the federal bench. I'll give you a hint. It wasn't Donald Trump. It's Joe Biden. Can you say pandering? Final break of today's show. We'll get her done. Come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at The Post on Church Point Road, Gonzales.
Tremonti's has meat, Tremonti's has seafood, Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters, huge wine and liquor selection, beer and all the spices you need, Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats, ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs, 20 flavors of sausage for the grill, daily lunch specials and game processing, on-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Buck Show. You know, as a man of color, what? And an American, it is particularly insulting to watch those on the left, Democrats, engage in the age-old practice of pandering. In case you haven't figured this out yet, Joe Biden, in selecting Kamala Harris as his running mate, figured, and he'll never tell you this, but if you have an ounce of common sense, you already know it to be true. Joe Biden picked Kamala Harris because she was a woman and a person of color. Not African American, mind you, but a woman of color. He picked a woman that only 8% of her own party wanted. But Democrats, being who they are, knew, we can get the female vote and the black vote if we put her on the ticket. So the next big thing now is going to be more pandering. Joe Biden announcing, I'm only going to consider a black woman to fill the vacancy on the Supreme Court. You pandering so-and-so. Oh, I wish this was Sirius XM. I could say what I really, really want to say. But here's what the media is going to go out of their way to hide from you. Oh yeah, oh Joe, he's all about civil rights and upholding women and people of color and the whole nine. I mean, look, he nominated a black woman to be the first black woman on the Supreme Court. They're hoping that people that watch this sort of stuff for a living will forget. And they're hoping that their allies in the mainstream media will hide from you that in 2003, then President George W. Bush nominated Janice Rogers Brown. At the time, she was an associate justice on the California Supreme Court. She was nominated to be the first black woman ever nominated for the federal bench. So what did Joe do? Good question, Marty. What did old Joe do? The defender of civil rights, the panderer in chief. What did he do? Joe Biden, for 2 years, used the, wait for it, filibuster to deny this woman a chance to sit on the federal bench. Say it ain't so, Joe. Say it ain't so. Not the defender of civil rights. Voted against her twice. Now, in case you're wondering, just in case, she was a libertarian / conservative. Let me please do my white liberal friends a big favor. Whether you realize it or not, this crap you're pushing is the most insulting thing ever to any black person who can think past, I don't know, first grade. Do you have any idea how insulting it is to people of color for you to nominate, hire, put someone in a position just because they're black? Listen, y'all. The Democrats specialize in doing things that they can make a big old grand spectacle about. But in the grand scheme of things, it don't do a damn thing to help black folk in their everyday lives. And the fact of the matter is, y'all, as insulting as it is to give somebody a position just because they're black, you realize you're saying to the rest of us, you're not really capable of doing the job. Bless your little old heart. I mean, after all, you black. So we have to make some special accommodations for y'all. I don't know what it says more, that they are willing to do this, or apparently they have no clue, none whatsoever, how insulting this is to black people. I sincerely hope, on another note, I sincerely hope that the New Orleans Saints, when they find their new guy, don't bring me somebody as the head coach just because they're black. Hire them because they're the best person for the job. End of discussion. Time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. We'll talk about Joe Burrow tomorrow. Rest assured, we will. But this day, just like any other, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you do realize by now that he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Either way, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves. Let's take care of each other. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.